enjoyed that intro and the reveal of the Kubota Cadet. It's been a work in process here for a few months, so it's nice to finally have it finished, running and driving. So once I finish this little intro, continue watching the video. I've got some video of me on the side yard, starting it up and driving it for the first time, and all that good stuff. So if this is your first time tuning in, basically this was a Cub Cadet 72 that we did a custom conversion when we put a Kubota Z482 two-cylinder diesel engine into. It had a single-cylinder gas Kohler, 7 horsepower before. Now it's 13.5, so bumped that up a little bit. So I want to give a shout out and a thanks to Jason Dufour at Dufour Tractor Parts in Nashville, North Carolina. They're the ones that provided me with this awesome Kubota engine. I called him and I said, hey, look, this is what I'm trying to do. And he said, I have something here for you. It's already running. He went out there and tinkered with it, sent some videos, and gave me a really good price on it. So thanks to Jason Dufour. If you need any kind of tractor parts, new or used, check him out. Also, I want to give a shout out to Bruce at Blueline Graphics. He did all my custom Kubota Cadet and Diesel 72 decals for the hood and for the dash. I've been using Bruce for years. I used to have him do all kinds of custom stuff for me when I used to restore Honda three-wheelers. And when I transitioned over in the tractor world, he just kept hooking me up. So he does amazing work. The quality is amazing. It lasts for outside. So check out Blueline Graphics for any custom decal needs. And then finally, I want to thank Dan Guerin at Bullpen Antiques in New York. He was able to provide me with the hitch lift system for the 40 box blade, as well as the metal pan seat that I needed to complete this build. Again, I've known Dan for a few years and I always go to him. He's my go-to Cub Cadet guy. So anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this build series. I think it turned out pretty good. Looking forward to getting it to some of the shows this fall so people can see it and enjoy it and check it out. I've got a few other ideas in my head. I'm kind of on this Cub Cadet bandwagon, if you will. There's just so many possibilities, and I have lots of ideas for some more one-off custom things that I think will be really interesting to watch. You know, obviously we like tractors in this channel and restoring and restoration using tools and fabrication. So I might do another one of these. I don't know if it'll be the next project, but I've got a really good plan for one that I think you'll enjoy. So anyway, like I said again, thanks again for supporting the channel, for watching all of these series. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit like, comment, let me know, what do you think? You like it? Do you not? What would you have done different? You know, so just like to hear the feedback from the viewers. So anyway, stick around, got a little bit more left of the video, and we'll see you in the next project. Hey everybody, welcome back to Rusty Wrench Restorations, and the Kubota Cadet is finally done. So today is Sunday, September 28th, and in approximately 6 days on Saturday, October 4th, the day that you're watching this video for the first time, will be the reveal of the Kubota Cadet. So thanks to video editing, that little clip that you just saw of the reveal hasn't even happened yet. So we're getting there, but I just wanted to get you back to see where we're at now before we got to that point. I know it's kind of like a confusing time machine, but anyway, a lot has happened since the last video of this Kubota Cadet to get some of the finishing touches on here to get it so that it's actually operational and can drive and move on its own. Or hopefully it can, because I have yet to do that. I've ran it, I've done some fine-tuning on the wiring harness and throttle apparatuses, if you will. I had to make some changes, but I have not yet driven this. So today's video, we're going to see this driving as well. So let me get you mobile. We'll do a quick little walk around and show you what's changed since the last video, and then we'll get this thing started up, and hopefully we're going to get it moving on its own. I have not moved this thing under its own power with this diesel engine yet. I think everything should be okay, but we'll soon see. So let me take you for a quick walk around and show you again, like I said, what's changed since the last time you saw the Kubota Cadet. Alright, so let's take a look here and see what has changed. So one of the most obvious things, and one of my favorites, is the decals. So as promised, This used to say International Cub Cadet. Now it says International Kubota Cadet. And down here on the back for the Model 72, the text diesel has also been added. I do want to thank my friend Bruce at Blueline Graphics, www.bluelinedecals.com. This guy never fails to amaze me. Here on the dash sticker we also have Kubota Cadet instead of the Cub Cadet, and he added in diesel. I had him remove the choke section here because, well, I don't need a choke for a diesel engine. Now, one thing that is still on here that at the time when I had the decals made was being used was the throttle assembly. Excuse me. So this is your normal throttle lever for the gasoline engine, and I originally had this hooked up for the diesel as well, but well, it just didn't work out. The throttle cable length was always an issue. Routing was different. I basically had to loop around the engine and come back. So what I did here was on the throttle lever of the engine, I basically just ran a throttle rod with a nice little rubber grip on there. So when I want to advance the throttle, I just push on this lever and it advances the throttle. So here you can see the full range from idle to max, and I've got the spring on here to drive it back to the idle position. So most tractors you can set the throttle and it'll stay high. This one's not going to be like that. Anytime I let go of this throttle engagement lever, it's just going to drive it back down to idle again, and I'm alright with that because basically it's like using a gas pedal in the car. You want gas, you push it; less gas, you let off, and well, it is what it is. Let's see, what else has changed? I've got a button down here. There used to be just a block off plate. This button now does two things. Let me turn my key on to accessory here. I guess it would help if I hook the battery up. Let me hook the battery up real quick. Now we get the battery hooked up. This is the fuel shut off solenoid, and that's now activated by this button. So when the engine's running, I will depress this button, momentarily hold it. It'll shut off fuel to the engine and stop the engine. I've also got the glow plugs wired into that same circuit. So before I start the tractor, I can depress that button and hold it. Now it is energizing that fuel shutoff solenoid at the same time, but it doesn't matter. But it's also energizing glow plugs. Just reduced my number of buttons on the dash from 1 down to 2. Another thing that's changed since the last video on this is I've replaced the radiator. Now it's still the same radiator. This is actually from a Honda 420 four-wheeler. But when I was making these brackets the first time, I actually drilled into one of these vertical passages here. I tried crimping it and soldering it to prevent it from leaking, but that was no avail, and it leaked coolant. So I went ahead and bought a new radiator and replaced it. And finally, I think the last thing that's different, besides the air filter, is I didn't think of where I was going to put the fuel tank when I was building this. Now this is an original fuel tank from this tractor, and it was originally mounted on a cradle on the old Kohler 7-cylinder engine. So basically what I did was I made a little bracket down here that bolts up to the front of the Kubota, runs up and goes underneath, and bolts to the front of the grill there. Just kind of gives the tank a place to rest on, and then the OEM straps basically hold it onto that plate that's under there. The only other alteration I had to do in a diesel system, so basically the fuel will come out of the tank, it goes to the fuel pump, wraps around, goes through the filter to your injection pump. Here's where it basically increases the pressure and ports it up these two fuel lines to your fuel injection system, or your fuel injectors. And then those injectors, sometimes depending on the engine RPM, have more fuel going to them than they need. So there's a recirc line that comes off the rail here and comes back up and goes into a fitting in the tank. Now obviously the gasoline engine didn't have this fuel tank on there, so that was something that I had to add in and adapt, because you need to have that recirc line on there. So those, oh, and then the steering linkage. So as you know, in order to get this Kubota engine to fit, really the biggest modification that we had to make to the tractor was we moved the front axle ahead about 2 inches. So this linkage going from the steering box here at the bottom up to this arm on the front axle needed to be lengthened as well. So basically I just cut the old rod and added in a new pipe and welded on each end. So that's it for major modifications. I did say I had some surprises under the hood. Got a few kind of humorous decals here. This one here, just a skeleton with drinking diesel fuel. The old Greta Thunberg, how dare you. I know she's a advocate against or for protecting the environment, and I don't know as though she'd exactly agree with my diesel engine conversion. And the good old 80s Calvin, well, giving his opinion on gasoline engines. So wanted to add a little humor in there. I did keep all of those decals under the hood. That way there when it's closed, it does still maintain its factory look and some sort of professionalism, if you will. All right, and then the last thing before we go ahead and start this bad boy up and take it for its inaugural test drive is the International 40 box blade on the back. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that although I do love tractors, my favorite part is the implements and accessories. So International Harvester made a very, very similar box blade to this here, and it was called the Model 40. Now this one is a reproduction box blade. It's not original. The original ones go for tons and tons and tons of money, and they're very difficult to find. So years back, there was a guy that made reproduction ones, and I was able to find one and scoop it up. I actually had this box blade a few years back and sold it to my buddy Brian. You might see some pictures of it on the back of one of his Cub Cadets and some other videos. And he knew that I wanted to accessorize the Kubota Cadet and give it some function besides just having a cool engine to drive around. So I bought the box blade back from him. And my buddy Dan Guerin, I know I did some shout outs to him. He owns a company called Bullpen Antiques in New York. No, that's not his decal, but up under here you can see a white spring. That is the International Harvester OEM Spring Assist. So basically, when you use this function here to raise and lower the box blade in the back, it's got a nice big spring under there, tucked underneath. Let's see if I can kind of zoom in a bit. You can see the back of the spring, and it goes all the way up to the front lift arm in the front there. But anyway, it makes lifting this heavy box blade so much easier. I found this International decal on eBay. It's not the correct one that would have been on a 40 box blade. In fact, it would have been a lot smaller and in just solid black. And the number 40, well, I was trying to get someone to make me one that matched this, but I couldn't find one online. I know my buddy Bruce would have hooked me up, but I don't want to keep bothering him. So this 40 is actually from my yellow industrial John Deere 40 crawler. I had a couple of these left over, so a little nod to my John Deere. And I've got a few more of these dealer stickers coming. This was again from my buddy Bruce. My buddy Bruce at Blueline Graphics hooked me up with these decals. They're basically a reproduction of the old International Harvester dealer stickers with my own twist. And he's got a couple more coming to me. I'm going to put them in this area here. So anyway, that's the quick walk around. That is the Kubota Cadet as it stands right now. Everything is pretty much complete minus a few decals, and I just want to go through it and basically do some touch-up paint and detailing it to make it look really clean so it's presentable for the video you just watched for the reveal. So anyway, let's go ahead and start this bad boy up and take it for its first inaugural drive. I've got my gate shut, so hopefully the brakes work, or the engine kill switch anyway, whichever comes first. Now, I think we should be good. Looking forward to see how this thing does. All right, we'll go ahead and start it up. Let it warm up for a few minutes. Like I said, we've got the ignition here. We'll put it into the accessory position. You can hear the fuel pump running. We'll depress the engine kill and glow plug button. Let the glow plugs run for a minute. Turn it over, let it start. We'll let it warm up for a little bit before we try moving it. Fuel pump. Wow, that's pretty amazing. It's definitely better than I thought it was going to be, and it definitely has a lot more power than that old Kohler engine. I'm looking forward to getting this thing out on the street and seeing it move a little better. Alright, well, like I said, that far exceeded my expectations. I thought for sure we might have an issue with the clutch grenading or just slipping or making all kinds of noises or not working or something, but I mean, I literally could not ask for that op test to have gone any better. Wow, everything works, doesn't make any funny noises, no leaks. Definitely a success in my book. So, thank you all for your time and support. I appreciate you watching this series. Hopefully you've enjoyed seeing this Kubota Cadet go from a neglected, almost sent to scrap tractor to I think something that's show-worthy. It's definitely got some diesel appeal and some things to talk about. It's always fun going to shows and showing off something different, and letting people know that the sky's the limit. You know, use your imagination, be creative, and you can do pretty much anything. I mean, to put a 2-cylinder Kubota diesel engine in here with a Honda 4-wheeler radiator, and to have only really had to move the front axle 2 inches forward, has completely transformed this machine. So anyway, looking forward to getting this to some shows. Maybe we can put this box blade to work, dragging some dirt, and I don't know, just let some other people enjoy it too. So anyway, thanks again for all the support. If you haven't hit subscribe yet, please do. Lots more to come in the future, and we'll catch you on the next one.